The Pixel Fold was a novel device that they've killed already. And the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold is proof that they really screwed up. So, the Pixel Fold last year met with a lot of fanfare, a lot of excitement. Google, the maker of Android, was finally making a foldable phone. That meant we would probably get better app support, better resolution, better everything, better compatibility. And I think we largely got some of that stuff, but there were a lot of issues with the Pixel Fold from the get go. Like, well, battery life is terrible, at least in my experience with it. And I was really irritated that they were using such a cheap camera in the phone. It uses the same primary camera, which is cropped differently than the Pixel 7a, which an $1,800 phone, that's a no-go, right? Plus, they were not doing the 7 years of support, and on top of that, it had the Tensor G2. So all those things for me were like a bad recipe for disaster, even though the phone itself largely was mostly okay. And I kind of learned to love it in some ways after a while. But what everybody was definitely on the same page about was everybody loved the front screen. The front screen experience was absolutely amazing, and that's something we can't take away from it. Well, Interstage right, Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And one, it's not a pro phone. Like, it's just not. There are things with this phone that I don't find pro level. One, it doesn't have pro level cameras. In fact, at $1,800, it still has the same primary camera as we got last year with the, actually, all the same cameras really on the back. I believe, as far as I know, all the cameras on the back are the same. I think it has a new selfie, but the new selfie may even be worse. But I'm gonna have to dive in and look at that some more. But definitely the cameras, all that's been updated is it went from a Tensor G2 to a G4. So now it should ideally have better computational photography, and it should have a better, newer image signal processor. So when you take a look at that, like, well, that was one of the biggest complaints I had last year. Is the Pixel Fold should have had the Tensor G3. I think it would have been a better story. But when you look at it now, they've changed everything up, right? They're basically copying Samsung, they're copying OnePlus, they changed up their form factor. They, I guess, said, okay, 1 year was good enough, we're abandoning this, and we're gonna go to this taller, thinner style, which, I mean, is fine. It's supposed to be about the front screen dimensions, I think about the same as the Pixel 9 Pro, which is pretty cool. And I think that's why they call it the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, because effectively it has the same dimensions close as the Pixel 9 Pro, but when you open it up, you get a big 8-inch screen. It's supposed to be super thin and all those things. So I can give them some compliments in certain areas where form factor and usability are probably going to be pretty nice. From things that I'm seeing, it's easier to fold all the way open. I don't think the creases is glaringly bad. And yeah, the battery is actually a little smaller, which is concerning to me. But the Tensor G4 is supposed to be much better on battery, and it is definitely going to be better on battery than the Tensor G2. So I don't think it's too big of an issue there, but I'm going to have to get my hands on one and try it out. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to buy one. I'm so turned off by how they treated this phone this last year that it really just rubs me the wrong way. I'm honestly not that interested in buying one. Another $1,799 phone, maybe. I mean, it's supposed to be supported for 7 years, but this one was supposed to be supported for what, 3 years of operating system updates and 5 year security patches, I think, if I remember correctly. And they're already moving on from this form factor. So I'm sure it's still going to get supported, but it doesn't give me a lot of warm fuzzies whenever you look at Google's track record with supporting products, right? Or keeping them around. So they've already moved over to this new form factor. They're calling it a Pro Fold, and it's just not. If you expect something to be a pro level, take a look at the cameras on the Pixel 9 Pro. They are significantly better. You have a much better selfie camera. You have better primary camera, better ultra wide. You have a better telephoto, all those different things. Yeah, that's something you expect from a pro level phone whenever you talk about a phone, especially whenever it comes to a Google phone, because they're world renowned for their high quality cameras. So yeah, they're saying that it's rated as the best cameras in a foldable, but that's not something to brag about, especially in an $1,800 phone. When you have a phone that costs basically $2,000, there shouldn't be compromises, especially not using the same camera that you have from your budget $400 phone 2 years ago. I don't know who makes these decisions at Google, but it's something that's just very frustrating. A lot of people don't realize it. They watch the keynote speech and it's like, oh my gosh, best cameras ever in a foldable. And then you run away thinking, okay, hey, these things are going to have pretty good cameras. And indeed, they do take decent photos, but they're not that good, especially not for $2,000. But this is a revolving criticism. If you look around almost the whole industry, you look at the Samsung phone, it's been using the Z Fold 6. We're on the third year of the same cameras. So it's something that these manufacturers, they make up these excuses like, oh, well, the form factor, oh, the constraints. Oh, okay, I get it. Well, but when you're charging me basically double what it costs for a normal pro level phone, you need to figure those things out, not come to me and go, well, this is the best we could do, right? If that's the best you can do, then why are you making it, right? There's no incentive to innovate there because they just keep rehashing the same thing and then charging that $17, $18, $1,900 price tag another year later. But I'm happy to see this there. I'm happy to see they've upgraded it. Of course, it's got 16 gigs of RAM now instead of 12. That's something that'll be better for future proofing. It has 7 years of operating system and security patch updates, so that's good. And everything I'm seeing from other people's feedback, it seems to be pretty nice. Like a brighter screen, it's supposed to be a nicer screen, it's supposed to have a better crease, it's supposed to be thinner, it's supposed to be lighter, it's supposed to, all these different things. So across the board, it seems like they learned from some lessons and probably employed Samsung to help them out to make a better foldable phone. Because, I mean, Samsung makes probably more than 50% of that phone anyway. But anyway, Tensor G4, looking forward to testing that across the board. But I don't know, this might not be something that I go ahead and get right off the bat, because I want to see I want to see reviews myself, right? I'm also a consumer. As much as I make these videos, I got to spend my money to buy this stuff, right? I've already bought the Pixel 9 Pro, already bought the Pixel 9 Pro XL, so I'm waiting on both of those to show up, and then go ahead and go buy the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, which I'm not otherworldly excited about. Spend another $2,000. Yeah, that's a lot of stinking money for something I'm not overworldly crazy about. So maybe I'll leave this one to some other people. I don't know. Sound off in the comments, and y'all can let me know if you want my feedback on the phone. Other than this, I'm grateful to see that they made some changes from the things that I complained about last year. It seems like maybe they do watch some of my videos, so that way they can be like, you know what, yeah, maybe he's got something there. Maybe we do need to give it better support. Maybe we do need a newer chip. Maybe we do need more RAM. Maybe we do need to make a couple of changes, right? So it seems like they've made some positive changes in some of the right areas, and I'm happy for that. But what about this guy? Like, it tells me that they're done with this. Now we'll see what happens with the security and the software patches and all that stuff, and the Android updates over the next couple of years. But it pretty much proves everything that I said was right about this phone. So they've already moved away from it. They moved away from the form factor. They've upgraded everything. They've made the changes. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold is what the Pixel Fold should have been last year. They should have put that level of care, that level of attention to detail, that level of performance, and made it on par with the rest of their phones. Again, I still think they're screwing up. They should have called it the Pixel Fold 2. They should not have called this phone the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, because I don't believe it's a pro level phone. It just is not. I mean, if you look around, yeah, it does have probably some pretty good cameras in it compared to something else in the same category. But to just use that word pro, and you're charging $1,800, and the cameras are not as good as the pro phones that you make, kind of rubs me the wrong way. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on the matter. I'd love to have some conversation about that. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.